Hi guys, welcome to a new tutorial. Today we're going to be creating a um, a Notepad clone. So the Notepad that you have on Windows, it's going to be a sort of. I'm going to try and get it as similar as possible, but you know it might have a few little different pieces, and it's just going to be played by ear as well. So it's not going to be something. It's not something that I've created previously and I'm going to copy it. I'm literally just going to be doing it on a whim and going and creating it as we go along, as I do usually like to do. So, you know, it could be all over the place, so I apologize if it is, but um, so yeah, so let's get on with it. So let's create a new project. This is going to be, let's change that to C#. This is going to be Windows and desktop. I'm just going to type framework because this is going to be a WPF framework application. .NET framework, sorry. WPF app .NET framework. I'm just going to call this Notepad clone. And I'm just going to keep the defaults and click create. I've created a lovely looking little icon for it, so I'll add this to a download, so you can actually use this if you want to. I mean, you can use your own if you want. It's entirely up to you. Okay, so for this, I'm going to open up the default. Let's change that to dark. It just looks better, I think. It is going to look different to this because this is Windows 11 version, which was, I'm presuming it's created in WinUI 3, which I will probably do a tutorial on. In fact, I might actually create a tutorial on this, doing a Notepad in WinUI 3. Because it kind of gets people. That's what I want to move my tutorials onto eventually. That and Maui, but for now we're just going to use WPF. So what have we got? We've got it's actually a really simple application is Notepad, and that's another reason why I wanted to create it. We've got our menu bar, all these different functions. And yeah, so we'll be able to add all these, and I might not get around to programming them all, but I'm going to see how far I can get. But yeah, so let's get started. So actually, let's break down this window first. So what have we got? We've got our menu bar. I'm going to say that's probably about, say, 32. I could be wrong. It's probably about 32 to 40 centimeters, pixels high. Then we've got our main content area. I'm just going to call this the head, body, and then the footer. And the footer, we've got our line count, our column count, 100%. I'm not going to worry about these too much. I might just add them there for decorative purposes, but I'm not going to go into these in this tutorial. It's out of the scope. But I might just add them in there for decorative purposes. But yeah, we'll add the line count and the column count, and we'll add the zoom amount, how far we've zoomed in, etc. Obviously, when you zoom in, it tells you how much down here. So yeah, let's start setting up our application. So we've got our grid, and first of all, I'm going to add some raw definitions. So grid.raw definition, raw definition. We'll do three of these as same as the actual application. We'll add a height to this one. I'm going to add it 32. It does look about 32 actually. I might have been right. And then the bottom one, I'm going to say that's about 28. Doesn't have to be perfect. Might be a little bit bigger there, but it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter. It's just and then obviously the content. So the way that this works, the reason why this we don't actually need to set a height for this one is because it works in fractions. So we've taken away. So if you think of this as one whole, and when you add a raw definition to it, it's taken away that 32 and then that 28 at the bottom. So we've got this entire bit here to work with. We could actually even put height 1 star there and it'd still give us the same. It's just extra code, so we don't really need to, but just in case you was wondering. And if we was to add another raw definitions, I don't want to go too much into like how XAML works, but just in case you're new, that's going to split in. So that's splitting the two. And obviously if I was to add a height or a height to either of these, it'll take it away from there. So just in case you're new to XAML, just gives you a kind of an idea. I'm going to just add a comment above all of these just so we know what they are. So we've got header, we've got body, and then we've got the footer. I'll just call them that. And then what we can do is reference them down here. So we've got header, body, and footer. XAML code can get really complicated if you don't comment quite a lot. I'm even going to put one for this grid. I'm just going to call this base grid. I don't always do it. You'll notice in some of my videos I don't always do it, but I try to because it is quite important. So that's basically our starter. Our starter template. In fact, I'm gonna. So in my Affinity Designer, I've created 3 colors that I'm going to use for the application. In fact, we don't need that. It's exactly the same. So this is going to be the text box basically, and these are going to be the menus. So I'm just going to copy these colors. I've got it opening up on another page on my other mic. Sorry. I'm just going to copy these colors and let's go to here and create a folder. Call it assets. Add, and we're going to put a new item. And this is going to be a resource dictionary, and we'll just call this custom theme, and we'll need to connect that to our main file. So let's do that. Resource dictionary. In fact, yeah, that's right. I think resource dictionary, source dictionary dot merge dictionaries, and then we can add a resource dictionary and then a source, which will point to our assets and custom theme dot XAML. If you get an error underneath, just make sure you build the solution and just make sure that error goes. Built okay, but still got the error. We can test it though. Let's just create a solid color brush, give it a key of menu background, and the color let's get the other color. Copy that. That looks exactly the same. That's oh, it's this color. Right, so that's the menu. Solid color. X key. and this is going to be the body. In fact, let's call this header footer. Header footer, and that can be body. And color, and let's just copy that color again, and then just add that into there. And we'll make one for text. We'll just say menu header footer text, color. I don't want it to be a complete white. Just have it a little bit more dull. And the whole point of having a dark theme, I'd say, is you don't want it to be too bright on your eyes. So I don't like to give a really dark, a really bright white ever. So body text, and then color. We'll give this a bit more of a duller, like that. And to see if that's working, we can add let's add a rectangle, and actually we'll add a fill, static resources, dynamic resources, static resource. Let's have a look. Seems to be working. Is that working? Is that better? Interesting. I can't be bothered going through and trying to figure out what's gone wrong there. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to delete this custom theme. Usually I'd go away and try and figure it out, but I don't have time. So I'm just going to add the colors. Oops. We need to create a resource app.resources. Resource dictionary, and we'll just do it like that. And that's better. Unfortunately, yeah, I don't have enough time to go away and just try and figure out why that was working. So I'll just leave it as it is. It's fine. So now we can go back to our main body, add another rectangle, fill, and we can add body to that. And then rectangle. In fact, let's just make sure that that's showing in grid row 1. fill, static resources, and then header footer, and that will be grid row 2. You can run that, see how that's looking. This is what it's going to look like. That's where our menu is going to be, and then that's where our like line column and the rest at the bottom. Let's compare. It's a little bit bigger, that menu, isn't it? I wasn't far off with that though. That bottom one though, I think that might be 30 pixels, and the top looks like maybe 35, no, 40. It's not massive, not a massive problem. I think because I'm such a think like if I see something, it needs to be right. It's not important though, so that'll do. I'm gonna actually take these colours as well because I like these colours. I like it. I like this dark colour. So I'm actually going to eyedrop. So let's select that menu, and then oh, actually I've never. So eyedrop that, and then eyedrop that. I'm going to take them colours. So this one's going to be the body. Let's go back to our application. So the body, and this is going to be the menu. Menu. Let's run that. That's better. Looks good. There we go. Although I think this menu bar looks like it's an acrylic brush, which is almost like has a see-through aspect of it, so you're never going to get exactly the same color. But not to worry, this looks alright. This looks pretty decent. Okay, so now let's add a menu to our application. And to do that, we'll go to our edit section, and below it, add a comment, menu, and then we'll say menu, background transparent, content, so vertical content alignment center. Let's add a menu item, vertical alignment center, vertical content alignment center. I'll do it that way. Just remove that. I can never remember which it is. Is it text or content or a title? I think it's header. We'll add file. As you can see, we've got a dark text on dark background, so let's just come over here and add foreground, and then we'll add static resources and header text. this is going to need sub menus, menu item, header. Well, let's have a look. Sorry, probably new, the first one. Background, static resources, header. That's because I've already got it open. Start again. Okay, we're going to have to actually create an edit for that template. Menu items, so I'll apply this to all and we'll add it to the application. So let's open the application. That will generate this code for us below here. Menu item. So I'm not too bothered about the text that the color is at the moment. These color, in fact, static background. Border. Foreground. Separator. Disabled, we'll keep that as is for now. Menu selected background. We'll add that. So just get rid of that. I'm not sure if that's going to work just because of the color of the background, but we can always change it. The border. Have that. Highlight background. Again, I'm not sure if this is going to work. Highlight border. Let's get the border color. We can mess about with these values as we go along. But I think that might do some changing. Let's run it again, see what we've done. There we go, we've got it. No, that's all right. Yeah, that's fine. Let's close that. Okay, so now let's just double check. Now I want to actually add the gesture to the side of it. So to do that, let's go back over here. And here we'll put input gesture text, and then we'll have control. That's not right. Control plus N. Make sure that worked. Yeah, so we've added that now. So I'm just going to do the same for the rest of them. I'm going to pause it because you've seen how I do it now. Also, it's a little challenge for you. Just go through, add all the rest of them. If you get stuck, just come over here, open up your Notepad, just add all of these. Even though we might not use them all, it still looks better if we've got everything there. And then I'll unpause it when I've finished and we'll go over it. Okay, I'm back. Okay, I had quite a long pause there, so I can't exactly remember what I ended on. So I'm just going to quickly show you what I've done. So I've added the 3 menu items that we've got here, and I've added them like that. For some reason, I've just noticed that the separator is white, and we've actually set it to black in the code, so I'm not sure why that is, but it's not a massive deal. It's not something that I'm going to go into too much depth with. But yeah, so this is our Notepad so far. Okay, so now what I want to do is create. There's quite a lot of code there as well, so my GitHub will be in the down at in the description. So if you want to check your code against mine, feel free. But now we're going to actually add a body. So let's add a text box. It's going to go in grid row 1. Background transparent, border thickness 0. And that's our text box. So I'm going to add padding 20, font size, I'll do 16, and then font family. We can just open up Notepad and see what we're using here. Let's just copy that, paste that in there, see if that is okay. Yep. And then we obviously just need to change the foreground, and I'm just going to use our resource for body text. There we go, that's fine. This is our test. And if you try and press enter, it's not going to work. And what happens if we do this? Yeah, it's just going to go on and on and on. So what I'm going to do is first of all, I'm going to well, if you can see, because we've technically it's white, it's a white background, but we set it to transparent, so we've got this black cursor or caret, whatever you want to call it, so we can actually come down into our text box and change the color of our caret, and we'll change that to white. And now, as you can see, that's changed the color Yeah, so next we want to actually accept return, which will mean we can actually, well, it turns it into a multi-line text box. So if you click enter now, you can do that. And we will also, let's just close that before I forget. We will also do word wrap, text wrapping, and I will just put wrap. So now, if I just, let's make this a bit smaller. So if I do this, it's going to go on to the next line, and then when I pull it out, it's going to do that. And we're going to do a setting. We've got it in here. Word wrap. When we've got that on, it will do this, and then we'll create an XML file that can deal with our settings. So it's looking pretty good for now. Let's go move on to our footer. This is going to be really simple. I'm going to add a grid. I'm going to add some column definitions. I'm going to have 3, I think it is. Might be 4 actually. Let's just have a quick check. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4. So we'll do 4. Oops. Like that. We obviously need to move this down into grid row through 2, like that. And we can come inside here. First of all, our first row is the biggest row, so I'm going to make these, I'm going to say like 120 each. Maybe, let's just check. Width 120, width 120, and then width 120. And let's add, so let's comment this. So the first row is the stats, I suppose, we can use. So that's going to be like call line. The second row is the zoom. The third is the format. I think that's what it is. Windows CRLF. And then the character encoding. I'll change that to format. Okay, so now let's just add text blocks to each of these. So the first one is going to be so horizontal alignment left. In fact, I'm gonna add 2 to this. So I'm gonna click Control KS to surround with a tag. I'm gonna add this as a stack panel. Orientation is going to be horizontal, and this X name is going to be line count. Line count text. this X name. This is going to be column count text. We don't even need that horizontal there now. So the text will be 0, text 0. I don't think spacing's a thing in this, is it? No. So we'll have to add that manually. We'll have margin 0, 0, 0, 0, 10, 0. Let's change. Let's vertical alignment center, and we'll do margin 10, 0. We can't just. Let me actually edit style, and we'll apply this to all. Application, OK. Setter property foreground value white, so we don't have to keep adding it to that. So everything's going to be white now. When we add a text box, it's going to be white now. So and I've only used white. Is it at the top or the bottom? Here. This is text block. Let's actually change that, because like I said before, it's a bit too bright. Let's just have it like that. That's our default color now. Add that there. This is going to be line. So we've got an error because we need to remove that name. Let's have a look at this one. What we've got it set up like that. And then we can add this between, and that'll be col. That's, I think the margin's a little bit too big. Let's put that to 5. Like that. It's a bit better. We'll go setting, property, font family, value, and I've forgotten what it is again. That's a bit better. It's not what we've got over here, but I quite like that, so I'm going to keep it. I love that font. And I quite like it up at the top as well, actually. I didn't realise it. I thought I was just changing the text block. That's quite retro. I like it. I'll keep it. You don't have to, obviously, but I will. Actually, thinking about it, no, I'm not. I've changed my mind. I'm going to remove that from there. I'll set it to Microsoft's default. That's a bit better. And also I'll get, like, I'm looking at the here, and it doesn't actually have the colons, which I've added, but I'm going to remove them too. Just have it like that. Also, because I don't want to worry about adding that comma at the end, I'm just going to add another text block with no I'm just going to add that like that. So now I don't need to actually worry about it. I'll get rid of that margin there. So when I'm adding when I'm multiplying this, I'm not having to worry about, well, this one, I'm not having to worry about the comma at the end. So, I mean, it's not a massive deal, but yeah, I think I prefer it without. Okay, so let's go to the zoom. Text block, text, grid, column 1. Let's just add text 100%. We've already got text there. 100%, vertical alignment, center, and I'll add a margin 10, 0. You might be wondering why I've added that, but we're actually going to add some our own separators. I'm just going to copy that because these last two I'm not going to be doing anything with. They're just there for fancy. So Windows C or LF. That's going to be grid column 2. Grid column 3. UTF 8. Now let's have a look what it looks like when we run it. Oops, I've left this open. There we go. Looks pretty good. Now let's add our separators. So to do that, we can simply just add a rectangle. We'll add a width of 1. Do grid column 1. Horizontal alignment left. Let's see what that looks like. What color have we got? And we can just add our own color there. Kind of just want it to be a little bit lighter, just a smidge lighter than what we've currently got. That should be alright. Yeah, you can just see that, that's fine. So we can just copy this. In fact, let's add a margin 0. Oops, 0.5. Yeah, that looks good. We'll keep that. Same under there. Column 2. Same there. Column 3. And then let's run it and have a look. Have a proper look at it. Yeah, that looks good. I like that. Excellent. How are we doing for time? 45 minutes. Not bad for 45 minutes work, I'd say. Let's add an icon to our app because it's looking a bit amateurish without an icon. So let's add an icon. So to do that, all we need to do is go to our project and then go to properties and then go to, oh, here we go, icon, and then we just want to browse for the icon. So I'm just going to copy my location. I'm just going to grab that system note icon. I'll upload that to my website for you. And let's try it out. You might not be able to see it. You might be able to see in the top corner. Yeah, you can see it up there. It looks really good, actually. I'm not going to lie. It looks fucking great. Awesome. Right. So now we've actually got a fully functional notepad. I mean, we can't do anything with it. We're not at the stage yet where we can actually save it or open a document, but we are going to next. So yeah, that's quite a long part. I'm actually going to do this in 2 parts. This is going to be the design, which we've done, and in the next part we are going to do the programming. So I hope you stick around for it. If you've got any questions, let me know. Please, please, please like the video. I'll let you into a little secret. The more likes the video gets, the more chance of me doing another part there is. So yeah, just keep that in mind. So I mean, it sounds like I'm clout chasing, but that's not the point. I need to know that people are enjoying the video. If I'm getting 50 people watching it and only 3 likes, then which is technically that's pretty decent. But I don't know if you're enjoying it, and I don't know if I'm doing it right or not. But yeah, it's so you know, if you enjoy the videos, please like them. They help me out. Share them if you can. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. Got loads of good stuff coming up. But next part is coming next. Cheers.